So I'm expecting to see some potentially
10
some
seconds
jetpacks coming out
remaining.
here from the Clockwork. I'm expecting an early concussive grenade. I'm expecting
5 seconds
some
remaining.
4-staffs coming through from. Can Marcy afford 4-staff? I think Clockwork on his own can just do it. But yeah, like what does Visage buy now? Because obviously Wraith Pact was the item to get previously. But can you afford to do it anymore? Do you go like Helm of the Overlord now? Just for something a little different?
Dire team
That still gives you that Vlad's aura?
Honestly, man, I got no idea. If this was like a Visage 2, I might say it could be like your Witchblade Scepter. Well, what's it? Dahak build again?
Orchid, maybe.
Yeah, it's Dahak is Orchid Scepter Rush, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what a 3 is. I very Wraith Pact is very, very situation now, depending on if it's a team that does a lot of physical damage, and this is not one of them. So you might consider
just
about a
go pipe?
pipe. Yeah. Might consider pipe, and then like Boots of Bearing, something else.
Vlad's is still really good, man. Like Vlad's itself. The Wraith Pact kind of garbage this game, but Vlad's is really good.
Yeah, I guess with how much it's able to buff up like you in general as well, like your familiars, and then your team, the sniper.
With a sidekick on him as well. Yep. Like it's a lot of damage that you're gonna have to get through, and a lot of lifesteal as well. I really think this might be a Helm of the Overlord game. Like again, the reason I wanted to see the Visage is because Nyx Lich suck at dealing with that sort of stuff, right? Like they have no wave push at all. So now Execration are just trying to get rid of a little bit of that themselves with the Nature's Prophet and the Broodmother being gone. Is there anything left? Like Lycan and Beastmaster are basically it, but I think Sniper's super happy with facing into either of those in lane.
I think they might Dawnbreaker on Spawn. It's something that they've been giving among Dire a decent amount. They like the Dawn Nyx. And if you get on top of one, you can just Solar Guardian in. And I think they've been giving Mamong Dire like heroes he's kind of more comfortable on. I'm not sure Primal Beast. Oh, it's actually banned out because that was another one that he's been playing a decent amount so far in the position 3. So still not sure if they're even going to flex the Marcy. I know Marcy Visage is very strong lane. You can still run Clock Visage. There is a potential for it. I think it's maybe not as high just because you do want to keep the Marcy Visage together.
The only flex that I'm really seeing is like mid versus safe lane for this Clockwork. So for the Sniper, sorry. Like what? Do they feel like the Sniper wants to go into against the Ember Spirit, or do they feel something else? So yeah, mid bat still seems pretty good to me.
I think Palos can play this as well.
Yeah, true. So what do they want now? They need most likely an offlane, and so Mamong Dire is Legion Commander banned? I wouldn't hate an LC.
It's an okay game. Like you it's really versus the Batrider, right? Like that's it. Maybe Blink versus Sniper's kind of nice, but I don't really see much value out of everyone else. I know for Legion, Nyx is going to be a good lane either.
Yeah. Dawn's kind of nice, I guess. Or just someone else that's able to utilize the stick charges really effectively to just shove the lane back into the Batrider. Because, like, bat into a Nyx, you don't really want that, even in the laning stage, right? Like, you're just setting yourself up to die pretty easily. So, I'd say this is much more likely going to be the bat, and then it's just a Clockwork Sniper lane. So, I think that's what you need to be playing around.
If that is going to be the case, the Batrider Ember, this is a matchup that both Bob and Potato know through and through. Like, Bob's an incredible Batrider player, and Potato, the position 2 on Spawn, he really knows his matchup incredibly well. And Ember can actually have a pretty decent time with just being able to spam out Slight. Like, I think the matchup is a lot different than what it used to be. You can kind of be okay in that lane.
I do like it, okay. So they are incredibly single target on Execration outside of the Batrider. The Shrapnel makes life a little bit more difficult with the I think it got a bit of a nerf as well as Nyx Assassin, just lets you catch him up quite easily, but they are kind of lacking in lockdown, right? Like you need to really burst down this Lycan inside of a lasso essentially. And it's going to be a mid sniper, so Palos Batrider, okay. Keen to see how they're able to make this work. I suppose what I was asking for in the offlaner was someone that's really able to take advantage of, spamming out spells. Well, Lycan doesn't really do that, right? He's much more passive. Obviously, he can summon the wolves and use the howl occasionally, but it's not really something that you would think of as like, a magic wand buyer that's able to abuse a potential Batrider lane.
Maybe it helps out with some of the issues with tower taking though. And I guess Execration, like we were kind of, something you brought up with the Visage pick is that with the first two heroes on spawn, the Nyx Lich, they don't deal with the familiars or the push. And it's kind of similar with Execration. It's really just a sniper that's able to do so. So once you get this Helm of the Overlord, you're probably going to have some pretty big issues when spawn can kind of ball up around that timing with the Scepter, maybe like Maelstrom as well. It could be very difficult for what Execration can combat that with.
So does this now mean that Visage is kind of forced to go into the Helm of the Overlord just to like take over Lycan's creep if he's trying to go for pushes?
Oh man, I don't know. We are both theory crafting as two people who don't even touch the Visage, so it's like
I don't touch any hero that's more than like, if I want one hero and I need to control no illusions, and that is it. Give me one. My boomer brain cannot deal with it. So wolves, get them out of here.
I like the build that we brought up before, the pipe into the I think pipe
Vlads.
potential Vlads. I think Boots of Bearing could be in there somewhere. We're not going to get a Wraith Pact, I don't believe. I don't think he's going to go like a kind of position 2 build with like Orchid Scepter or Witchblade Scepter. So I just don't know the like kind of the first three where we said kind of pipe, Vlads, or Boots of Bearing. I don't know what order it's going to be in. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what Tino's able to pull out. Again, I mean it's a pretty good Visage game. Really, your big concern is just there is a lot of damage over time, but your lane should be pretty decent.
So Mamang Dai did go a magic wand against this Batrider lane. Not sure what exactly he's going to be spamming out, but he's gone it.
Oh no, hook back Dino, not like this! Add that.
And he got the Soul Assumption level 1 pre-skilled already, so he didn't have the Grave Chill to be able to get away.
Okay, very interesting. Well, they had their own ward on the high ground. They saw...
Yeah.
Maybe just didn't want to reveal his ward placement, so trying to play the fine line of being on the edge in a position where he might be killed off, so he doesn't have to reveal the ward. But it's gonna give first blood over. Who got it? Well, Patathu got it, so that's no bueno. Especially, I mean, this sniper lane is horrible for the Ember. So the fact that he's gonna have a bottle pretty much completed once the lane meets is really big.
Oh, look at Bob's quick buy. That's all you need to know about this lane and exactly what's going to be happening all throughout. It's just bully, 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 stand on the enemy's top of the stairs, essentially, and just pump the right clicks in.
Those right clicks are already starting to go to work, so yeah, this is really going to be a fun lane. Top lane, Jikro, micro down to the Soul Assumption. Frostblast, hold Shanks back. He's actually got a hook. What the? Okay. That's
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
I mean, surely you didn't expect him to do that much damage on the Marcy. That was a lot more. I actually thought he was going to need 2 right clicks to get that kill on the Pudge, so I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him either. I mean, he's got the Ring of Protection. He was under the tower, so yeah, it's kind of nuts. All right, Marcy's still busted. You heard it here first.
I don't even see any of the abilities. Oh, very interesting. Oh, very interesting.
It's so beautiful just to hover over that rebound and, cast and jump range decreased from 800 to 450 at level 1. Oh,
yeah.
It's so good.
It's so interesting now on how you're going to skill build, because we saw a lot of like the 1-1-4, and now you can't really do that. You definitely have to put a couple more points in rebound, if not potentially maxing it.
Yeah. Or you need to do it specifically. Like, most of the time, I feel like Marcy should be picked like second phase now. It's not a first phase ban anymore. And maybe you do it against like something that's a dual melee lane, or like something like a Morphling, that doesn't have the greatest attack range, and you're still able to get right up in there and without being punished,
Do you still think this hero is strong overall, though? Like, do you think
Oh,
he's... Yeah, okay. So, seems like we're kind of on the same card. Because I think they didn't change Marcy's toolkit. Like, you're still bottom lane, Paulus. Getting a lot of sticky stacks, but Among Die is going to be chilling for the moment. Gets back
It's
towards
just
the
not
tower.
the most broken hero in the laning phase of all time.
Which is the big thing. But conceptually, your toolkit is busted still. So...
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's still going to be valuable in a draft nonetheless, and it's just where you fit in. So, yeah, will definitely be exciting to see kind of the adaptation, but we've seen in the past with, the change from the stuns, from the dispose, and the rebound, and, it was still even just as strong, so...
So they changed the cooldown on Flesh Heap to be a little bit longer, only reduces by 1 second per level instead of 2. But they still don't put the duration on there. I mean, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, but you wouldn't know that just by looking at it,
Yeah, tooltips. What can I say? There was another tooltip I was looking at. The goddamn Bramble Maze on Dark Willow. It doesn't say how many ticks it does. I was trying to work out, like, how much damage it does overall, and it doesn't say anything. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Give me some information here.
A lot of damage. That's all you need to know.
A lot of damage. The good old Dota tooltips. They've, it's alright. Game's in beta, right? That's all we need to say. Top lane, Jikro.
I wonder...
2 points in the Soul Assumption. Need to try and get some charges back. Shanks is in with the double stun. And Jikro should end up going down. Beautifully done. Execration. Yeah, this top lane's off to a flying start. Tino, top of the last sits, and now a kill to add to the bonus gold injected into the bank.
And that was after feeding away that first blood as well. So... Shanks doing a really good job. He's actually put the second point into the rebound there, so just wanting that little bit of extra range, not just for that, but also doubling the impact damage, a little bit of extra stun as well. I wouldn't be surprised just keeping it at 2 points of the rebound. I think it'll be, solid enough.
They're gonna go for this?
Body block though.
Maybe just trying to get some harassment in, also potentially feeding over your own life as well, as Shanks will go down.
I think the first attempt is fine, but as soon as you see the Frost Shield, I really don't understand the justification of going in again. You know they're not going to die. Like, Flesh Heap plus Frost Shield, where's the damage coming from?
It's a lot of damage mitigation. Not fun to play into at all. A lane that we were also expecting not to be too fun was mid, and... Well, Potato's still having a great time. Again, I really wonder how different this lane would have looked if he didn't find that first blood. He's sitting top of the net worth at the moment, but this lane is going to continue to get more difficult now.
Yeah. Even just the lack of heroes that are able to rotate, right? Like the clockwork, sure he can, but there's not really much point in doing it anymore considering how close he is to level 6.
Oh, bottom lane.
It's very important. Oh.
Carlo. Oh, we'll go down. One more swipe, but Palace should be able to trade his life. Plenty of stacks to work with, even though he doesn't have the Firefly. Right clicks, and of course, just reapplying them should be able to bring down Among Die, and he does so with ease.
So it really feels to me like, obviously, Boots of Travel on a Bat Rider isn't groundbreaking, but he's going to be looking to get that Lycan at every single opportunity. He just needs to make sure that he's not as much of a factor throughout this game. Just look to burst him down, force out some usages of the shapeshift maybe, and means that you're feeling a lot safer on your heroes like the Sniper, like the Visage, for example, that you're not just going to get run down.
Tatu will run into Shanks. Trying to secure the rune for Potatu, but unfortunately not going to be the case here, so... they do also just get the instant D-ward. Ember dropped his own Absorber down, but they just had a Sentry, so he won't be playing with some vision now, which could be an issue for the upcoming minutes, considering I do think we're going to continue to see Execration. Are we looking
They
top?
see everyone coming, though, so he should be able to back out just in time. He does. So that's the value of those wards, really feeling like it was scouting him on this movement through, but... one a little bit to the left of the high ground there that ends up protecting it.
Wonder if they're still going to stick around here from the supports, because Tino probably needs a wave in a little bit till he gets the familiars, so it looks like Carlo's going to go try and make a stack at the Ancients and not kind of leave too far. Yeah,
I mean, not wonder why, but like, I really don't think he's super happy about just leaving Palace here completely on his own. I feel like there's potential to get more kills onto Mamang Daya. Maybe they felt with the Helm of Iron Will being picked up, he's not as vulnerable anymore. But maybe once Palace hits onto level 7, perhaps, they're going to go for another one of those kills.
Hello? We're running to Carlo, so gonna be able to scout at the clockwork coming back to bottom, like you were just starting to bring up, you know, potentially wanting to go back to play with the Batrider once he gets at 7, so they get the information to make sure Mamang Dai can reposition, and he can always even continue to scout up the walls, but Carlo's just really up to his stacking game. It's name of the game here for the clockwork at the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be good for both Sniper and the Batrider, so completely understand his justification for doing that. Now, putting a few points into the shrapnel after the lane didn't go amazingly for Bob, so he feels like he's going to have the capability of flash farming a little bit faster than the Ember Spirit does if he gets a few more points into that. Top side, Jake Roy getting gone on a little bit here. The Flesh Heap just about to wear out, and with that, the Familiar should be able to take care of this. Never mind, the Soul Assumption doesn't instead.
Ember's here, though. Tatu, maybe without some points in the Flame Guard, is going to feel a little bit more hesitant about going over towards Tino.
Yeah, I think he really needed the Pudge to just be alive if he was wanting to commit onto that, right? Because, like you said, without that Flame Guard, there's nothing really to be able to take off those Gravekeeper's cloak stacks. You need the Rot there as the substitute, but wasn't able to land that one. And, well, it's one movement that's wasted. They might be predicting a bit of a dive here by Palos to get Mamang Daya. I wonder if he's saying to him...
Hang on, you just TP'd back, my good sir. Are they going to go for this?
Don't think they can.
Yeah, Palos? Running over the tree line. Palos just considering about even chucking out the lasso to maybe bring Mamang Daya down. Not going to be the case. So, Shapeshift use and a rotation out of the Ember.
Yeah, it was a deliberate bait as well. Just basically saying, hey, put yourself in a really vulnerable position. We want to make sure that we can get this Batrider a little bit more under control. Really does slow down on that Boots of Travel timing a little bit too. But now, top side, got the Familiars hitting in onto the tower with the Blightstone. And he did go that first item, Vlad, so still going down that route on Tino. I like it. It's just a question of what is he going to go after this. I'm holding out hopes for my prediction of the Helm of the Overlord.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Are there any lanes that you were kind of expecting to go better or worse than what we've seen so far from either side?
Are we talking from the end of the draft or from when the lanes met? Because obvious answer to that would be the mid lane, right? But like we were saying before, the early bottle just made this lane so much more survivable, let's call it, for Potato.
Bottom lane, Palos. They're going to be able to see him in the tree line. Remnant on over, Spike Carapace to hold him down.
They lay at their stuns, though.
It did indeed. So Shanks, he's going to look to TP and actually get the jump. The illusion dodge is not fast enough, and now they've got the lasso as well to drag away Batatu along with the cogs. Lacking the mana, trying to play with the bottle sips, but he wasn't able to do it so fast enough. Delul's got his level 6, and oh, look at him enter the middle. A lot of damage onto Shanks now, but he will be able to get that leap away.
Cheeky little mana burn coming from Clockwork as well, preventing the Remnant away, I believe, on the Ember Spirit, which is, you know, cool little play coming through from Carlo there. Obviously, the Clockwork, while still super capable of being a position 5, does feel a lot more in his wheelhouse. You were saying to me before that he's been getting a lot of the Crystal Maiden given over to him, and that doesn't really feel like the Carlo that I know and love.
Oh, the Carlo we love is the Clockwork player, the one that likes to jump in and be the manly man.
The Earth Spirit.
Puts their own pressure onto the tier 1 tower mid tier for spawn. Oh, they got the shapeshift as well. Diving deep. Can they actually protect Bob? Is it a lot of trouble here? Strength Treads playing with the Fairy Fire. Bob will be okay. The lull. Oh, they got him. All right, nicely done. So we'll be able to stop his TP short. Batadu Still has a slide up in a couple seconds. Shanks are going to be pretty cautious. They're going to split away from the Chain Frost, but both supports from Execration are not in fighting shape, so they're going to turn to Carlo. They might get out on both of them, though.
Oh, the Delta split. Carlo, got to be careful. Alright, Vlad's into drums. Seems like the build here for Tino. So really wants to be playing alongside of his Batrider, of course, just providing that little bit of extra attack speed for Sniper too. Everything even synergizes well together with Shanks and the sidekick. And well, it's 1-3-1 as the skill build right now.
Mid lane, jump in, Batadu. Frost Shield's going to be given over. Has the haste to play with as well. They've already used the familiar stun, so unable to really hold him down. You see, though, a lot of space across the map. Palos is, even with his boots of travel completed, is pretty content with just shoving up the side lane. He's already got one component completed with the BKB. Incredibly farmed here for the Batrider, even though he does have 2 deaths.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been left solo, so not only the farm, but also just the experience as well, right? Almost level 10. Only one ahead of him right now is Bob in that mid lane, which you would come to expect, right? It's a sniper against a melee laner.
Top lane, Jikroy. Clockwork not close enough to be able to jump forward. Shank's actually going to pogo stick on, though. So get the pullback. Travens is in with the Frost Shield. Hookshot's going to be off the mark, but it looks like it won't be a big issue, as it's just the Lich at the moment that looks to try and protect Jikroy. They needed some more members to be able to help out the Pudge, and well, of course, they didn't bring the reinforcements, so one man goes down along with the tier 1 tower.
I'm not sure how much he's going to accomplish, though. Pump fake in the Chain Frost on Travens, but it's a few rotations now from Potato that haven't actually resolved in too much. Maybe if he gets this double damage rune, it's going to provide him with a lot more reliability of some of these movements.
Potato. The DD to work with. Sinister sets up for the hook. Bye-bye, Carlo. Lovely knowing you, my good sir. Now this tower might be under a little bit of pressure, especially now with Mamang Daya looking to backstab. Now they're used to the shapeshift, and they don't have glyph to...
just TP bot. So you don't really have the greatest way to be able to respond to this.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Alright.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looks like it's a lot of little items is the go for Tino. He's got the Lightstone, the drums, the Vlads. He's going into the pipe next. Just jack of all trades, you know?
Do I get credit?
Nah.
Oh, it's okay. It's alright, I'll give myself a little pat on the back. I mean, I'm just waiting for the Boots of Bearing to come out. But, you know, it's like, I don't know when he's going to get these items. But like you said, it's just, you know, he's pulling one a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from the other side.
I mean, they're all good items for the game, and
yeah,
it's just like, does it have the same level of impact? And I don't want to say more importantly, but does it address the Lycan at all? That's my other issue, because he's closing in. Well, he's already got his own Vlads, and he's getting towards the Helm of the Overlord, and no one really that's super capable of dealing with it. You don't really want Sniper focusing in onto a Lycan creep. He's there to kill heroes.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, it does seem like the position from Execration is... It could be broken down really easily with a shapeshift just running at you, a Pudge in your face, the Ember as well. Palos is going to see Mamang Dai into the tree line. Nothing Mamang Dai can do. It'll try and force out the lasso, but not even required as Shanks was holding the disposed top lane. Delul is scouting out Tino. Nice micro harbor. Tino's going to be able to hold back Jikroy thanks to familiar stun, so they will not be able to get a kill across the map here for Spawn.
And against these low cooldowns, right, they're able to make these plays very consistently because, you know, obviously Tino, all you really need is the Grave Chill. You should be feeding away your familiars too quickly. You've got Marcy, pretty low cooldowns outside of the Unleash. Batrider, of course, really only needs to play around that Firefly with the amount of lockdown that they've got. Pre-BKBs especially. I suppose that's the other issue that I have for Execration is that once BKBs start to be picked up on Spawn, it becomes a whole lot more difficult. But because of how well the lanes have gone, that timing's going to be slowed down pretty significantly. And, you know, even Pudge, right? Jikroy would love to have Ags and BKB and Blink. Obviously, you need to get Ags first, but it's a question of, well, can you get away with not having Blink Dagger? Because it feels like you really need to find a way to close in onto the backlines.
Yeah. Speaking about the BKBs, Palace has his. Another ward's going to be dewarded instantly as well, so going to have this extra potential to try and stalk inside the bottom tier 2 tower here to maybe set up for get a team fight success. All of a sudden, potentially putting some damage into the tower. Potato might be able to set up for Dalul. A little bit wary about going for this though. Dalul's going to try and charge on forward. A lot of damage has been dealt in. Might not even have an opportunity for the BKB. Palace finally gets it off for the last second, but the slide spam could be an issue. He's going to try and chase down with the Nyx Assassin. With the lasso to drag back, it looks like Execration will be able to narrowly win out on this small skirmish without losing any members.
Yeah, it never feels great to have to pop your BKB for that sort of purpose, but I suppose, I mean, they didn't really have to use all that much either. And again, right now it's all about Spawn. They want this game to get dragged out a little bit. They feel like they've got the better late game potential, I would assume. Just because Pudge, again, is going to get those 3 key items that he needs. Helm of the Overlord is only now just going to start to have some impact as it's coming through for Mumung Dire. You can see he's instantly TPing down towards the Ancient Camp as well. He wants to pick something up immediately. It's a pretty lousy one in the Ancient Ice Shaman, but he'll take it.
It's really the timing we're speaking about, though. That Helm of the Overlord with the Pudge Scepter coming out shortly. It's going to be very scary for Execration to deal with. Even though they do have this, on paper, you're taking a look at the net worth lead, it feels like this is just such a gigantic spike for Spawn.
Oh, for sure. I mean, to be fair, though, Execration kind of have that a little bit soon, too. They're going to have the Pipe. They're going to have level 12 on the Visage.
Deep jump in, Shanks. Nice use of the Pogo Stick. Mash TPs. They should still be able to catch up to him nonetheless, though. Wolves being able to scout out his positioning out to the right side, but there's a lot of forced TPs up the top and reactions from that. Oh, they got to Tino as well.
How the hell did they catch him?
I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe it's up to Dalul's Nyx Assassin.
No, Number well played as well. More kills around the map. This time around, it's Bob just getting... That wasn't a solo. Yeah, it was helped around by Carlo a little bit there, but we haven't talked about Bob for a little bit now, and, well, he's got pretty good items here. I mean, the Hurricane Pike is going to be very good, especially against the Lycan, if he ever does get into that that attack range, just to be able to use the Hurricane Pike to be able to right-click him, right? Like, even if he tries to run away, you're not going to have that freedom to escape. He's even got lucky enough to get the Specialist Array just with that little bit of extra damage coming through.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah, and I wonder when he considers the shard, if he does even want to buy it, or if he's going to try and get greedy and wait for that second Roche.
Nah, I don't think you can wait that long. I think it's going to be BKB shard.
Oh, Jikro might be in trouble. Look at this. Palace is TPing into the familiars. Hookshot's going to be shy. Palace has to pop the BKB to try and get in range for the lasso. Shanks, does he have enough damage? Is Dalul's going to be able to jump in the Impale onto 2, and now Jikro can get the Dismember off as well. The goons show up to protect Jikro. He might still go down. The Flame Break before they cut off the head of the Batrider, but in the end, still a worthwhile exchange.
And you just see the impact of having that Aghanim Scepter right on the Pudge. They were melting on those supports as they were standing on top of him. And, I mean, he actually used both of those familiar charges, I believe. Like, his first one's got eliminated incredibly quickly. And in the second lot, they just were... We were talking about his micro being on point. He was kind of feeding them to the wolves a little bit there, no pun intended, towards the end of part of that fight. So... really giving up a lot of free gold over towards Spawn. Big net worth swing going their way.
Never refuse gold given.
Any levels that we could see being impactful for Spawn? We spoke a lot about the items, but like you just said, the experience going their way. Potentially even talents as well that we could look out for to maybe give them a little bit of an advantage.
I think with a Pudge, always having that level 15's kind of vital. What else would we have? Ember Spirit. I don't think he really needs any of his talents, like, as far and away, but he's holding on to a lot of gold right now. That BKB is going to do wonders for him. just to be able to not be too concerned about losing the Flame Guard against Batrider. Again, Visage, Familiars coming through, not Familiars, the Soul Assumption coming through onto him. He's not going to be as worried about that anymore. So you can just look to stand and fight and, again, create havoc. That's something that Spawn is going to have in absolute spades.
Smoke up once again, though, from Execration. Really want to try and crack this top side of the map and be able to open up the tier 2 tower. And Jikroy might be the price to pay. Hookshot from Carlo. Chain Control need to try and prevent the Flesh Heap, and they're going to be able to do that with ease. They're forced to cancel the Ember's TP as well, and they should be able to get more kills off the back of this now, as straight away they go towards Traven's location. Another jump in from Shanks will stop the escape from Lich short.
Dire's top tower.
Still a really solid Chain Frost coming through, but yeah, the coordination coming through from Execration is just way too much, even with the amount that he's been able to recover his farm on the Pudge. Still not enough if you just can't press your buttons. And all the while that was happening, Mamang Daya just keeps swinging his Ancient Creep towards the bottom side. Now he's been able to pick up an Ancient Black Dragon as well, so even faster at being able to deal with a lot of these waves. Things are looking up for Spawn, but things are looking even better for Execration.
Would we have preferred Spawn to be playing a little bit more active? And as soon as I say that, they're going to smoke us too. So we'll see what they're able to get out of this at the moment. No one's home inside their own jungle. Execration have backed off to their side of the map, and they too will go for a two-man smoke. So it's Palos and Carlo that are going to lead the charge. They may run into the Nyx Assassin under the cover of the Vendetta. They do have a sentry nearby, but the ward scouts out the smoke. Potato, oh, beautiful hook shot, and now with the follow-up as well with the jump into the middle, the chain control once again could be there as they look to lead in with the lasso. Now they're going to go to Lul next as well. They've set up for the formation, so there's no way they can break it with a shapeshift as Bob is protected to get the damage out to Delul, and now they can look to target down Roche.
Yeah, I mean, most teams wouldn't be able to succeed with that just because this is one of the things, right? We see all these new teams that have players from this old roster and that old roster. Execration have stayed widely the same except for one player, and that one player that came in used to play with the majority of the other players, so they've got the chemistry there. It's just a matter of like how are they going to work with transitioning someone like Carlo from being a more greedy position 4 to a more selfless position 5. And well, in terms of what it means for their team fight cohesion and their execution, it's on point. It's more about the macro game that I feel is going to be the biggest challenge for them. And well, I was thinking that they had done a pretty good job out of the draft, and they did a pretty good job in the lanes as well. So really not too much to fault out of them.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because for me, when I look at Shanks, like, I feel like he's a little bit more of a greedy position 4. He can do a lot with net worth on this individual. So it's like, how do you divvy up the farm then between him and then the position 5 on Mr. Carlo?
Yeah.
Carlos should be able to get a solo onto Travens, deep in front of the tier 3 tower. Does get the hook from Jikroy. He's still got plenty of time out of the Firefly. Palos actually going to look for a BKB TP out. He'll go for the safe avenue. Mid lane, what do we got going on? Shanks looking to jump in to try and get onto the Mr. Black Dragon. Carlo actually finds a little angle to get that hook shot, sliding it through into the river. So Delul hold down for the moment. They're still going to look to take the team fight from Spawn though. Mamang Daya playing with the shapeshift. He's going to chase back Shanks, but we'll get some distance away once again. Potato on the hunt as well, but they're going to be too slow to connect on this opportunity. Radiant, they've set the formation up, and Spawn, all they'll get is the kill onto the Clockwork.
Tino is feeding through a lot of this gold from the familiars though. Just passively even. The Sleight of Fists end up taking out a big chunk of the HPs coming through, and with how long these fights are going, he's able to spam out multiple of them. Even going into the Blade Mail next on Potato.
I'm pretty sure he did this in another game on the Ember as well.
I don't hate it.
Actually, was that even against a sniper and bat? I need to double check. I think it was.
Against a bat, I would totally understand. Sniper, not as much. I guess it means you could just man up against him, right? And he only has the choice to run.
Smoke up there from Spawn.
Bob, yeah, Bob's not a runner.
Oh, he's not a runner at all. This guy wants to stay and fight. 2-0 and 4 is having an incredible game. Still got ages for another 2 minutes 20. Bottom lane, Shanks. Smoke surely to pop.
Never
They're going to see Jikroy. Does he go for the blind hook? It's going to be up to Delourt to try and scout them out in the tree line. Delourt stun. Oh, just too late. That's a lot of space now for Execration across the map.
It's indeed. You even had Potato looking to stay off the map a little bit because he knew that he had that tier 1 tower to be able to TP2 very quickly and join in the fight. He's just looking to try and nullify the impact that Palace is having right now of pushing out the top side of the map. What's he got coming out to him now? Oh, the Blink Dagger. That's a big moment coming through from Execration, and that's what leads them to go for this full 4-man smoke. They know that he can join in on top of the familiars at any time.
Oh my god.
Does he have familiars alive?
It's a good question. Where are they? I think Jikroy just killed them down bottom.
Okay, well, they're up in 10 seconds, so it's not the worst.
They're on the enemy side of the map, but Execration haven't been able to catch up to anyone. Mumangdai a little bit hesitant about moving to the triangle. Bob's going to reveal his position now, so should be able to potentially get some, at least a good guide on where some of the rest of Execration are playing.
Level 15 on the Visage. He's got that lovely talent that we love that just melts buildings, and he's only 500 gold away from the AC as well, so big moments coming from Execration shortly.
Hook. Oh, Tino's going to get caught. Is able to activate the pipe and able to counter initiation. Shanks is into the middle. But meanwhile, look at the other side. Bob, he's the one that's really in trouble for the moment. Cog's going to be able to protect him. They need the damage source, and he's nowhere to be seen. Such an incredible job from Spawn to take 2 team fights where they zone away Bob and then can also deal with Palace's Batrider.
Yeah, really just putting himself in on the front lines, isn't he? On Mumangdai especially, looking to take a lot of that attention away. He's very tanky with the Helm of the Overlord, with his movement, with the AC picked up as well. It feels like the rest of the team is just enabled to pick off their heroes with a relatively high damage coming through from Pudge right now. Speaking of Pudge, what's he going next? Is that a Shiva's?
I believe so.
Might just be a casual plate mail. Just wants a little bit of that extra armor against Marcy, Visage, Sniper. It's understandable.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially got the minus armor almost done here for the Visage. So we'll see. Do you feel like Execration maybe kicking themselves a little bit with hold that as Delul? Run straight to Carlo. Bob's on the left side though. Just a couple of right clicks. Easy like that. Bob gets a freebie. Do you feel like Execration are maybe kicking themselves a little bit with how much they got out of the Ages? Were you hoping for more, or are you happy with what they got?
I don't think they're happy with what they got, but the fact of the matter is they did it without a BKB on the Sniper. He was been holding on to a lot of gold for a long time, so the fact that he was top of net worth wasn't the actual situation, and they got a buyback out of the Nyx Assassin. So now that they got the first stun, he's actually dead.
Into the fall pit. Oh my god, and a Paulos. They got an opportunity now to get some more kills, and they're not going to hesitate.
Yep.
Damn, that's high ground.
He just underestimated how much damage Sniper was going to do. Again, this is a Sniper that's hitting multiple times with a Specialist's Array. He's constantly headshotting with the take aim, and he had sidekick on him. It's just too much for even someone like an Ember Spirit with that instant way to escape to handle.
That's a full set of barracks.
It is. I mean, that's the thing about the Blade Mail pickup, right? I like it against the Batrider. Against the Sniper with a Marcy, you really don't care, right? Because whatever you're going to be dealing back to you, you're just going to lifesteal it back anyway.
And you got a BKB anyway from Bob, so you're really not worried at all. Jump in. Decroy's Blink's getting cancelled. So Palace has now got an opening as well, but they've got to be cautious. So Bob's going to try and turn with his own BKB, but now with the Dismember holding him down, they need a way to be able to cancel this. They need a way to free up Bob. Hook just shies. Now Bob can look to turn it around. Mumangdai trying to get on top of the Sniper, but they will have the Chain Frost bouncing back and forth as Spawn finding multiple members of Execration, putting them inside the grave. They lose their buildings, but nonetheless, they will be able to take the team fight.
Great chain frosts coming out from Traven so far this game. Just always on point, being able to land them. And in these big choke points, right? Just not wanting to throw them out for no effect at all. Really wanting to get the absolute most. And well, he's doing a really good job with his positioning as well against this lineup with a Bat Rider, Visage, Clockwork, Marcy. And only dying the 5 times is actually super
Radiant's
impressive.
middle tower is under attack.
And now they're actually just going to bring it right back to them. Saying, well, we've got a couple of creeps alive. Actually, just the singular range creep doing the mission for us.
Oh
Praying
boy.
for that. Oh, actually ends up... That's a really early use of the glyph. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't look to wait for the creep wave to come. It's going to give them window to at least take the tier 3, I would assume. Might look to get maybe the range.
Radiant's middle tower has
Okay,
fallen.
enough damage for melee, I guess. Maybe not.
Yeah, very close.
Could've got the range.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Top lane setting up, but nice reactions. There's a shapeshift,
Radiant's
and
top
that is a
tower
runaway
has been
shapeshift.
denied.
Meow.
Doesn't want them killing his ancient black dragon. Such a great creep for this style of draft. Again, like Spawn don't
Ember?
have great ways to deal with push.
Oh, they might be able to blow him up. Potato has to pop the BKB. Tino just a little bit too late there with the familiar stun.
It happens. No one's perfect.
You sure?
You think you're perfect?
Brother. I don't think I know. What the hell? Dude, my
Alright.
ego is... Oh,
Oh, I know. I know.
Don't even get me started, dude. I'm the sexiest, smartest, best Dota player. I'm perfect.
Well, 0 out of 3 ain't bad.
0 out of 3? What? What are you trying to say? What's this? Oh my
heard
lord.
me.
I don't even
They're
know
doing
what
Roche.
Yeah, they are doing Roche indeed. Spawn. Smoker's fight, but we saw what happened last time. If you're able to get on top of the sniper, take 2 team fights separately, minimize the amount of damage that Bob's able to do. And it's kind of... I feel like it really is going to come down to if you just give the sidekick over to Bob.
Yep.
Like if Shanks jumps in, and then as soon as he jumps in, all of a sudden you've got the Lycan also getting on top of the sniper. It's going to be very difficult for Marcy just to turn his attention back to try and go towards the sniper's location. So it could just be a bit of awkward timing here, which we kind of saw come out multiple times this game. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
I mean, it's basically going to get to this point where Spawn need to do what Execration have done successfully all this game so far in, like, literally bursting people from 100 to 0. Specifically Bob, because if he picks up that Satanic, he's going to have Sidekick, which lasts 7 seconds, and then he's going to have Satanic that lasts 6.
Palace with the jump onto Potato. And this time they're going to be able to bring him down. They do get the hook, but the cancellation's going to be there. So the Dismember not providing them anything. And importantly, this is a fight where Bob can just get the turret going to work onto the backline. They need a way to address him. Potato's going to try and do so with the Remnant Imp, but it's still got to be cautious. First stun into the follow-up of the Blast Rig. Going to be able to prevent the damage. Shane's holds him down for the moment. Now Bob's in trouble. The turnaround's not going to be there. Where's the sidekick? Where's the sustain? It will not matter as Mamong died, chunked through the health pool. And now we'll go to Palace next. A full 5-man wipe as Spawn was looking like a rocky start to the team fight, but they show up huge.
The thing, like, it costs a buyback out of Potato, but he does nearly 5,000 damage. Mamang Daya, nearly 6,000. The Lycan, just an absolute menace, never at risk of falling down there. And I mean, will they look to pressure completely? They're actually looking to try and get the best out of both worlds, going for the Roshan as well as the push. Hated. I mean, it's very important to be able to take this away from the Execration side. I think they probably could have won the game if they really wanted to, but obviously unaware of that. Great, come on. Come on. There we go.
Hey, what? Why is Roche trying to... I looked over, I'm like, hang on a second, why is the Aegis in the room? What the hell's going on?
Started running away. So with that, Potato takes the Aegis, takes the Aghanim Shard. Just, again, more of that consistent damage. He's able to really get in on top of the middle of a team fight, especially with that blast rig. And with how successful and how many buildings they were able to take, he's almost got his Aghanim Scepter as well. So things looking real good for Spawn.
Damn, Shanks, he wants a Chrysalis. Maybe they feel like they got some damage issues. I would personally like a Basher a lot.
I would like a Basher, but we were kind of highlighting this point, right? As soon as they have BKBs, what do you do? And it's not really something that Lycan loves to get, but again, it's the game for it. It's recognizing when you need to adjust your gameplay, kind of like what we saw happen in the last series, where Purple Paradox, they just weren't able to get those easy pickoffs onto the Lina that they previously were. This time around, you don't really love buying BKB on Lycan, but you do it because you can see that the only damage that's going to be coming through is from Sniper. So if you're not near Sniper, you could just have free reign in a lot of these fights.
This honestly could be a game-ending smoke if they win the team fight. They're going to be able to get a glimpse of the Marcy's position. It looks like Bob will be able to duck into the tree line, though, which is really the important hero that they were trying to bring down. Shanks. Ooh, tries to get the jump away, but the stun back up and available for Delul, so easy kill for them to find. Now they can get that top lane shoved in.
So, I mean, he didn't just TP away. He had the option to do so. I don't think Pudge was there at the time, so they probably wouldn't have been able to get that easy, dismember onto him and stop that. My only thought is maybe they were just trying to delay things out a little bit further so that you can get these next items up that they've been hoping for. I mean, you've got a Satanic now, I believe, on Sniper, yeah? He's getting very close towards the Refresher Orb, and maybe just that extra 5 seconds is all they needed, knowing that he had the buyback available. Let's see if he's right. Palace has got it. Right. How can they make this one happen?
Oh, the lull. Aggressive jump. Jikro's gonna fall up as well. Straight over towards Bob. Palace can be able to cancel that. First use of the lasso used defensively. And Potato's gonna try and follow up as well. There's the refresh. Palace, who does he want to try and target down with another round of the lasso, but he might not be able to get it off as Palace falling lower and lower. And now look at the Chain Frost deep inside the base, bouncing back and forth. Bob stands his ground, turns with a sidekick. The life steal, it's going to be enough. They don't have the damage. Bob, the turret going to work. They just put the mega creeps though. Spawn, they came and they saw mega creeps on the cards and they're out.
I try and get them on the retreat here. 5 seconds left on the hook shot if Carlo wanted to make that attempt, but really not wanting to give up the life for free, considering well, actually, he does have the buyback. Plenty of gold as well on Carlo that he's still yet to use, but yeah, Mega Creeps was the big goal for Spawn. They end up being able to claim it. But you just see how impactful a sniper is on that high ground, especially if you wait for that next set of items. Bob was a great initiation onto him again, but the Satanic just enabled that turnaround.
Is this a lineup that Execration can... Is this a Fireman that can kind of play into Megas, or are we pretty concerned with the state of the game?
Pretty concerned.
Okay.
I mean, Sniper doesn't really want to go into the Maelstrom, or the Mjolnir. Might need to. Oh, Telescope's a really nice item. If he's able to give that over to one of the supports, just for that little bit of extra cast range, he's actually even going to hold on to it himself. There's your Boots of Bearing, by the way.
Oh, I was just wrong about the AC, that's it.
Alright. Basically, the only way that Execration win this game is if Spawn make consistent error after consistent error and don't hold their buybacks. I think that's all they need to worry about. Lanes are always going to be pushing in towards them. They have terrible ways to clear them. So it's going to need to be something like Palos that tries to deal with it. Bob, you can see he's stuck inside the base, so they're never going to be able to push forward. It's just a matter of, all right, when do you feel that you've reached this critical mass? Pudge, he's level 25 now, so maybe they feel like they've got it. Lycan could probably afford to buy a couple of extra things. He's got plenty of gold that he's holding on to. But even Lich, like, he's got Solar Crest. So he's just like, I'm just buffing up my Lycan, or the Helm of the Overlord creep, because they have such a hard time dealing with it already. Let's just make it attack even faster.
I'll have some copium. I think now that Execration pretty much just going to be cemented inside their base, it's much easier for Sniper to build that formation. And if you just get the Hurricane Pike closer to the fountain, you have to just so heavily commit to bring him down. And we just saw what happened previously. So it's going to be really scary. If you jump in and you do not instantly convert on the kill on the Sniper, all of a sudden you're deep inside and you could have been a whole world of pain. So Mega Creeps, of course, it's going to make it very difficult. Spawn can just really stall this game out. I mean, we see how much they're getting across the map. Like, Jikroi's back in his own jungle. They're playing the entire map, just making sure that they suffocate Radiant inside the base. So this net worth lead will grow, and they're probably going to wait for next Roshan. Well, they definitely will wait for next Roshan. So
Yep.
we'll see. But, you know, I'll have some Kofi, and I think, well, Dota Plus even, so 11%. I'd say that's
about right, I'd say. But it's
yeah.
going to be dependent on where they take the fights, right? Fighting inside of Execration's base, very, very challenging for Spawn, even with Megas, with their net worth lead, and everything else that goes beyond that. They're making a earlier than expected attempt, I guess maybe thinking that Spawn are going to be wanting to play around this Aegis timing, so if they make a move slightly before that, they might catch them off guard, which is, you know, the sort of clever play that you need to make when you're going up against Megas.
Or are they going to wrap all the way around to the triangle? They do have this ward that sees Jikroi.
He's pretty tanky, man.
He is really tanky. I'm going to stick around, though. They're going to see... I think they saw some couriers go. That's a refresher orb on the courier. Is this... I think that's the Lycans.
Yep. Don't know why he's holding on to it.
Yeah, is it the Embers? Wait, what's going on?
It's Lycans.
Wait. Oh, no, it's Pudges.
What?
Yeah.
Lycans Courier.
There was two there. They were directly on top of each other.
Oh.
That's why I couldn't... I saw two couriers, but I couldn't see, like, the icon in front of it. I was...
Gotcha.
Potato? Okay. Are they gonna leave the triangle? I don't think they are. How long do you reckon they stay here for? I'm gonna go another 50 seconds.
I mean, Spawn don't need to go there, though. Like, why would you? It's probably...
To farm.
I don't want to... yeah, but they can farm literally everywhere else, and they can farm where they've got vision.
Yeah, he's coming.
Right, the enemy's right.
Oh, jump in. He got the flesh heap off, though. There might be enough to be able to protect him for the moment. The boys are starting to arrive. They get rid of Jikroy, though, and now Potato's going to be a bit cautious. They're going to move themselves down to the south, onto the Bat Rider. It looks like just a sacrifice will be Palos as Carlo... Oh, the Remnant, they didn't actually see Carlo. TP... Well, that's a long cooldown. Mr. Carlo is going to have to try and bury himself into a little nook.
Just going back to his own vision. He's like, you know what, I'm going to play around here. And that's what Spawn is saying. You know what, I'm never going to play around the triangle again because, well, what's the point? Let's just get our vision up. We've got the advantage. We should have a gem. I don't believe they do at the moment, though. And, yeah, let's just use that to be able to take complete control over the map, particularly the area around the Roche pit.
And this net worth lead's not growing. Well, very slightly. It should be growing so much more than what it is.
And with this, Bob, he's getting a little bit of that farm. Solo on the bottom side. I said he didn't want to have to buy the Mjolnir, but might need to be forced to, and well, you know it. That is the next thing being queued up for him.
Yeah.
One of those Wraith Bands as well, which still can be sold.
Yeah, he had the, he went the Ag Shard very, very recently. Which I'm a very big fan of because, again, I mean, we just spoke about what's going to happen if you're able to reposition inside your base. Of course, the name of the game is get on Bob. Get on Bob, create chaos, force him not to right-click, be up in his face, create a lot of pressure on him. But if you can Hurricane Pike, and then if you can grenade away, all of a sudden now, Spawn, you really got to be communicating on the ball if you're going to be able to continue to stick around and take a fight deep inside Execration's territory.
Come on, Carlo. Buy the Ags. You know you want to. Of course, buyback's pretty important, but... I mean, surely you get at least the Ogre X. Always going to be on the lookout for potential Roshan attempts. You're just popping the shapeshift there on Mamang Daya.
Oh, go back in.
we should know. Maybe. Roche. No, doesn't walk close enough.
Alrighty, I'm gonna know at least. Do you smoke for this? Do you try and actually make a play on
Plans are all coming in. The issue of we suck at dealing with megas does not stop.
If they can get their lanes in a position, do you think that is a fight you want to take on Execration? Or is it just you're happy with letting them get the second Roche and you're still content with taking a fight inside the base? You don't care about the Aegis advantage? Is Carlo going to go for the steal?
Know,
Yeah, he's angling for the steal.
come on, Carlo, you're a pos 5. Ooh, Potato is blocking and the creep wave is going to ruin the party.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Alright.
Guy. Oh, he's going to bite someone. Biting Jikroy?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Who talked about just wanting to get in on top of the sniper. That's something that's going to enable it.
Yes, sir, indeed. Oh, my. There we go. That's going to catch them off guard, actually. Ward inside the base. And he's going to try and dress this with the jump in. Guess who they found? Mr. Bobby, the man of the hour. Down goes the sniper. An instant use of the buyback. And now they're swarming further inside the base. Dismember targeting Tino. Carlo's going to be in with a hook shot to try and disrupt them at the moment. But the base, it's starting to form among Dire. Eyes on the prize, trying to deal with the objectives. The glyph will delay this for the moment. Multiple buybacks coming up from Execration, but they are getting nothing out of this.
They brought back on everyone
Jump
except
in
the
again.
Mark.
Jikroy, Refresher, trying to hold them down with the Dismember. Meanwhile, the Senator Gaze Bob, he's in no man's land. Will stand his ground off the back of the BKB. Is going to try and kill off the supports before he gets the cause. The damage is ramping up, and you got to keep the
Throne's
eyes
melting.
onto the throne as well. Down to half health. And meanwhile, Tino, he's also about to go down. Potentially Bob too. A blink on forward. Goes Jikroy, and that'll be all she wrote. As Spawn finally able to make Execration tap out with the Throne Siege.
Yeah, it was a really, really solid Pudge pick. That's all I got to say. You know, there was some good performances all around, but I feel like Jikroy was the one. Him and Mamang Dyer, I suppose, were the ones that really turned it in their favor. Lots of landed hooks, lots of really positive item choices as well that I enjoyed coming through from him there. I mean, just the choice to go into the Refresher Orb, really important. Realizing how key it was to be able to, again, lock down onto that sniper, make sure that he doesn't get off the Satanic, make sure that he doesn't be enabled to get even the sidekick lifesteal off. It's all about that 100 to 0. They didn't have any saving style of supports. They were doing a great job on Mamang Daya to not only obviously use the bite to enable that, but even just tossing the wolves like in between where the kill attempt was happening meant that the hook never actually got off to be able to save Bob on his snipers. So the cohesion took a little bit longer to come through. We saw great teamwork come through from Execration in the first like 20-25 minutes, but from there beyond, it was all Spawn.
Yep, it was all Spawn indeed, and still the volatility of this new Execration lineup is continuing to be an issue for them, just unable to get that consistency under their belt. And for Spawn now, you know, their past couple of games starting to get some wins. Again, I was saying they were 6-0, then they lost 6 games in a row. And so this is pretty important for them, considering it's going to give them a lot of confidence as well for this new team. I know it's just a map victory. It's not like a 2-0 or anything like that. But again, this is a new team. You got a standing. Mamang Daya playing in a role that he's not comfortable in. And being able to beat Execration is very important for them in regards to just seeding as well later on. So that is just game 1. And that is our second final game of the night as well. We got one more game remaining, Execration versus Spawn. We'll see you after the break.